What is up, my friends? My name is Echo Thurman, and we're back with this Spring Trap. This week, episode 22, we have my host, Cleric Jagoon, up above, and Rigoletto from the BYEFOREVER podcast. We have an exciting episode for you guys today. I know a lot of you are hyped about having Rigoletto on the show, some fans of the podcast, and, that's what we're doing today, guys. So how you doing today, Goon? What's going on, brother?
Man, everything is kooky, man. I'm pretty excited tonight, man. Episode 22, Echo, man. Come on, let's go, bro.
22.
22.
Can't believe I listened to you talk for that long, man.
Yeah, true that. Hey, Rigoletto, welcome to the show, man. So glad to have you. I've known Rigoletto a long time, dude. What episode am I on your podcast, Rig?
I think that's episode 4. So we're talking about 4 years ago.
Classic.
Yeah. By the way, if you ever listen to that, you'll go, who is this guy? So anyway, guys, I'm amped. I hope you guys are ready for a great show. Rigoletto, I'm going to hand it off to you, man.
Okay. Well,
Just tell everyone who you are, Riggs.
Okay, sure. I play as Rigoletto in Clash of Clans. My Twitter was Rigoletto Clash, so I dedicated pretty much a whole persona to Clash of Clans. Really early on in the game, I loved the game so much that I decided that I would like to throw my ring into the podcast arena. Mm-hmm. At the time, there was only one other show, the original Clash of Clans podcast, and I kind of wanted to take it down a different avenue. So about 4 years ago, I had added a BYEFOREVER show to iTunes, doing player interviews like Cleric Dragoon a long time ago, and all he cared about was farming.
Yep.
And
Really?
Yeah. Seriously, go listen to it, man. Yeah.
And a lot of other things. One of the things that I was really curious about was that nobody was joining Twitch streamers, YouTubers into the podcast community, so I wanted to fix that. So that's where I started with my show. And then it evolved over the years into many other things, including reporting on CWL and other leagues, including the scandals that came with the high competitive war scene.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
Right.
So,
right.
So Goon was mentioning something about your show, how it's evolved, and it's basically something different now. You want to touch on a little bit what your show's all about now? Because I saw you're still coming out with it regularly.
Yeah, actually, I've never stopped. I stopped doing regular Clash of Clans podcasts about 6 months ago. I think it was in November. I went to Lineage 2 Revolutions, and I attempted to do a podcast on that, although I wasn't really happy with the end product. It did help me realize, though, that really my happiness with doing a show was really just kind of reporting on what I was doing with mobile games and some of the challenges that come along with being an older guy trying to keep up with these young bucks and their 3-star tactics and their chicken dinners and all that stuff. Yeah. So I decided just to go more down the route, which really interested me, was the mobile news arena and the changes that were going on with Tencent and Supercell and Netmarble and all these other games. And so there's a guy on my show. He's there every week. His name is Fishdicks, and he's a regular Twitch streamer. And we talk about what's the kind of the landscape that changes in the mobile arena every week.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm doing now. It's been doing great. Yeah,
awesome.
I have a Patreon page, which kind of helps to gauge the interaction with. It's kind of like a barometer. You can't live off Patreon, but it's a kind of a good gauge to see if you're doing things the right way or wrong way. You can kind of see if people are subbing to you or if they're leaving. And for the most part, shows stayed consistent. So I've been pretty happy with that.
I'm glad to hear your show's going well for you. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Nice.
What we're going to do right now, I'm going to remind you guys that any comments that you throw into the comments section, if we don't get to them right now, I will get to them after we get the ones that came through on Twitter and Discord. But so we're not ignoring you in the chat, definitely. But why don't we jump right into some of the questions that we have, as my dog is choking over there. The first question is from Bulletproof. I have a feeling we're gonna get a lot of non-Clash questions today. So we're gonna start off with one right here from Bulletproof. If you can go back in time, where would you go and why? So why don't we give that one to you, Goon, to start things out, and then we'll let Rigoletto get his feet wet with that question.
If I could go back in time, would I have to stay there? Or would I just go back for a visit?
You can change that question to whatever you want.
Well, if I could just go back. Oh, there's Scottorio. What's up, man?
What's up,
if
bro?
I could go back in time just to visit, like I think I'd want to go like to the Jurassic Age and just watch those dinosaurs, like just watch them move around and stuff and whatever they did, man. I think it'd be really cool, man. But I wouldn't want to stay there long, man. I'd have to get out of there. But I think that would be cool.
A quick leave button in case you start getting chased by
Yeah,
something?
yeah. Panic button, bro. Panic button. Let's go. Yeah. I thought that'd be cool though. That would be interesting.
That seems pretty cool. How about you, Rigoletto?
If I had to go back in time, was that to like change something to
It could
change
be
the outcome?
It could be, sure. I mean,
Or would
your
it just
reason
be
for
to-
going could be whatever.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'd probably waste it on something dumb like to rewatch, Batman, the original movie in '89.
Mhm.
But
You could watch it now, you know.
I'm telling you, I make poor life choices. What can I say?
That's funny.
I don't know. I had a '72 Beetle that I really liked. I regretted selling it. So maybe that would be one thing that I would probably want to take back if I had some takebacks. But yeah, that's kind of a hard one because I there's a lot of things we want to take back. So,
Yeah,
but that'd be one of them. '72 Beetle, I want it back.
He wants his Beetle back. And
Yeah.
for me, I could say that I do something that's like very honorable and really nice that would be for like a really good cause. But instead, I'll just say I'll take it from the Back to the Future. I'd like to go back, I don't know, it doesn't really matter what time, but where I could know the outcomes of some sporting events and bet on them now, really make some good money so I could be a little bit set in life.
Okay, Biff.
That would be cool. Yeah, exactly. Biff. See, I didn't even remember that. All right, our next question. Well, first of all, Pickles, she's in the chat right now, and she also left us something saying that Rig, the most memorable podcast, so she was going to give a little bit of love to your podcast right there. And then we have Old Bearded Guy from the NDL. Do you eat gumbo with or without potato salad? And let me tell you, this isn't the first gumbo comment. I don't know what it means, but I'm sure that you do, Rigoletto.
The gumbo comment?
Yeah, do you know something about gumbo? Because there's a lot of gumbo comments today.
I don't know. I'm not a gumbo eater, like to the point where I own coffee mugs and things like that. I don't know. I'll have to figure out what they mean by that. But what was the original question, though?
Do you eat gumbo with or without potato salad?
Okay, first of all, it's really hard to find good gumbo where I live. I think I've had something close to it at Popeyes, and I don't even know if that's really gumbo. So I would probably say without. Gumbo's kind of like a soup, right?
I think so. It's like a stew, right?
Why would you want to ruin it with potato salad? I don't get that.
I don't know. I haven't ever had
Me
gumbo.
either, dude.
I think gumbo is kind of one of those, like, you commit to it. That's all you're going to eat for that day or for that meal.
Just the gumbo itself.
Just the gumbo.
I think so. So without potato salad. Without.
Goon, are you a gumbo guy?
I'm like Rick. I've had it a few times. Probably not proper gumbo, but it was called gumbo, and I think it's a meal in and of itself. I mean, It doesn't really require anything else.
I was Pickle saying it's a stew. I guess I was kind of right. I went down south and had something. I think I may have had a gumbo. I don't know. I would probably have it without potato salad too. I don't know why people are asking all these gumbo questions, but let's move on to another one. This one's from Andrew, and we've had this question before, but we'll get Rigoletto's opinion on it as well. What are your thoughts on the Ice Wizard and the Giant Skeleton being added as permanent troops? What do you think about that?
I think everybody wanted the Ice Wizard, right? I mean, were people actually saving that troop and not wanting to use it so they can keep it in their collection before it became a permanent troop? I mean, Ice Wizard was super popular. And honestly, too, I've heard the complaints made both ways that it's funny because you have camps. People go into camps. They're a Clash Royale camp, or they're in a Clash of Clans camp, and oh, that was our troop, and now it's going over there, you know, and the other way around too. But I don't think it really matters. I think Supercell, it's smart to do that. It keeps cohesion with their games, and the troops are cool. Why not have more? You know, why limit yourself?
Yeah, I agree.
Well, yeah, content creation wise, it's the smartest thing, really. More troops. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm wondering with this potential Town Hall 12 if they're going to bring those guys permanently or if they're bringing something new. I'm curious as to how they're going to roll with that, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Well, they kind of do them like seasonal too, so it's kind of hard to tell what stays.
Exactly, I agree. The other part of that question, part two, is what's something in Clash that you love the most?
Oh, hands down, community.
I was going to say the same exact thing. I know Goon was too.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
In fact, I made this comment on a very recent podcast that I did. As far as the comparison with what that little special thing is that Clash has, and why I'm returning to it as a gamer, was primarily because, excuse me, getting over a cold.
Sorry.
Was that there is such a wide range of different people from different ages and just from all over that you don't really get from other games. And not to disparage first-person shooters or other genres, but we all know that most of those people are mostly male and in a younger demographic. And you're not going to have like a 65-year-old grandma that's going to be playing Call of Duty, or maybe there's one. I'm not going to say it's 100%, but with Clash, you have everybody from everywhere and from every age and from all over the world. And you can't ignore that's something pretty special that they did with that.
That's true. That's true. Community is awesome. Do you think that the community in Clash is so awesome because, I mean, technically Clash is a thinker's game. It's a game that provokes you, you know, a strategy, a thinker, you know, to try to defeat that base. So, you know, we're a community full of thinkers if you think about it. And I don't know. It's to me, I've been in some other communities. I mean, obviously with Twitter, you know, I got into Twitter for Battlefield, I think, was the original reason I downloaded it. And the community at that time for, I guess, online gaming, first-person shooters on the PS4 wasn't that – it wasn't like the Clash community, man. The Clash community was really cool and engaging and full of, like, really great people. So, like, I don't know, man. I think it's a very unique community, the Clash community. Very unique indeed.
Yeah, I agree. I guess what you're saying there, Goon, is that we're a bunch of smart people who are well put together and educated and able to think things out. Is that what you're trying to get at there?
That's basically, yeah, because Clash is a thought-provoking game. It's not a visceral game, you know, a reactionary game. It's a game that requires a lot of thought.
I agree.
So maybe that's why the community is what it is, you know, is full of people that think about things in a different way. Maybe. I don't know.
Could be. I like that sound. I like the sound of that. We got Jim M bugging us with this question. Here's a random question I need Pickles from the No Dip League to weigh in on how big of a donation for Cleric Dragoon to shave off the facial hair. I personally don't think he would do it unless it was something insane. Like that.
It had to be insane, man.
Weird. That's about
man. Jim, come on, man. That's just wrong. That's just wrong, Jim. Come on now.
I don't think it's wrong. I think it would be great. When's the last time you didn't have a beard, Goon?
Probably. I don't know. I trimmed it down to a Fu Manchu probably a year ago.
I was going to say when he's 5.
Yeah, right. But it's I don't know. I don't know that I've completely like cut it off in a couple of years, maybe more. So yeah.
Pickles wants to know what's your number. What would the number be? Be careful.
No, it'd have to make me. It'd have to make me want to take it. That's all I can tell you. I do got a razor blade, so if it hit a certain number, I'll let you know. But right now, off the top of my head, I don't know. You just had to start shooting numbers until I want to go back there and shave right quick.
You guys are lucky that you guys can grow a beard. Every time I grow a beard, it looks like I look like a man on the run.
Oh, that's funny.
Just forget it.
This is my first true attempt at it. It was always pathetic. It's actually all right for me now. Definitely no Goon beard, that's for sure. But trying to do something to prove I'm a man over here.
It's looking good, bro.
Thanks,
it's looking
man.
good.
It's getting there. We got a question coming in from Nedster from Divine Justice. Question for Rigoletto. What are your personal top 3 episodes or moments from all of your Clash podcasts?
I got so many. I've talked to so many people. I've talked to I talked to Koopa Troopa right after his swatting incident several years back. That was very memorable. Hearing it from his own mouth. If anybody doesn't know that story, Koopa Troopa 787, who still streams, he had somebody prank him with those terrible swatting things, and he came on the show. We talked about it, and it was really a very open and honest interview, and I really appreciated that one very much. And I've had other shocking ones where they're just very interesting stories from the community, but some of my favorite are some that really were not popular at all. But I had a 10-year-old fan. His name was Pax, and he was a super fan. And I was so shocked. I just started doing these podcasts. I got this little 10-year-old kid who lives up in Alaska. He's homeschooled. He's only seen like 50 people in his whole life, and he's listening to the BYEFOREVER show. And he started hanging out a lot and started to get to know this kid. He sends me update pics all the time. I've seen this kid now. He's now 14, 15 years old. And he was just like a real fan. And I loved the stories that he had come up with, especially from a kid who lives with rifles out in the woods, and all there is to do is shoot things. He always had good stories to tell. But ones like that were really memorable. And it was funny. It was earlier today. Somebody reminded me of a story that I actually forgot about. It was about a clan leader. It was a woman who faked her own death on Facebook. What she did is her husband made an announcement, said, "I'm sorry, everyone, my wife passed away," and she was the leader of her clan. And the reason why she faked her death on Facebook was because she was tired of donating troops to the clan. I thought that was an amazing story.
Well, she could have just left the clan. I would assume that would be
wow.
easier.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many questions to go with that. I tried to get her on the show, but I got somebody from her clan instead, who had outed her, and we saw the screenshots, and a lot of her clan members replied on that Facebook, how dare you do that? So it was kind of a funny story, and kind of tragic too.
Yeah, here, but it's true that sometimes some of the best moments that you have are not your biggest show or anything like that. It's just those special moments that you come across when you're doing this kind of thing, which is cool.
Yeah, you never know when you hit record. You never know what's going to happen.
That's definitely true. We have a question coming from Prime from Clash Pub. What's the most amount of troops, or I should say spells, you've ever seen swagged in a league match? Goon, that could be for you also. And they said they just saw Smalley from Clash Pub swag 7 out of 9 spells. Or 7 out of 9 spell space.
I've seen two regular spells and a dark elixir spell, so basically 2.5 spells.
So
and it was
spell space.
It was ridiculous, dude. It was amazing. But yeah, that's probably the most I've seen so far.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Rigoletto?
Well, I don't know if that was a trick question, because when I was reporting on League Wars, it was against the rules to swag spells.
Oh, really?
Has that changed? Yeah. Has that changed?
I think you could swag now. I've seen it in League. Goon?
I have too. I think maybe those are accidental drops then. Maybe.
Possibly. Sometimes your finger touches where it shouldn't. Yeah.
Let's go with accidental drops.
Accidental drops. That's funny.
Hey, how many times have you guys healed the grass? I mean, come on. I've been there.
I just dropped two lightning spells on just some wall the other day when I was trying to do a zap quake on accident.
Yeah.
Whatever. It happens. That was actually a mistake. All right, let me go on to another page of questions. 1 of 4 done. How do I get to it? There we go. All right. Why did you never pay Buckeye Guy back for the flight to Finland? No idea what that's about.
Yeah, I really don't know what that question is about either. I could tell the backstory, but that doesn't make any sense. I was not expected to pay him back.
Is that something you want to get into, or should we move on?
I'm curious to who's asking because I haven't heard about Buckeye Guy in probably 4 years.
That question was from Rubio. I don't know who
Rubio.
is.
Oh,
Yeah.
Rubio's trolling. Okay.
Uh,
Yeah. The quick story on that for everyone that's now confused, thanks to Rubio.
yeah, I definitely am.
I paid on my own dime with help from Buckeye Guy, who was my co-host at the time. My own trip to ClashCon in 2015. I went, and we had a great time. So that was pretty much it.
Okay.
I remember that.
I think it was their only one too.
3Stack is asking, and I'm sorry, I'm not previewing these right now. I'm just kind of reading them. So if there's anything that comes up that we don't want to talk about, we could just move on past. But this is from 3Stack. Why does it seem like every time the replays disappear that the Hogs, Valks, Queen, or healers do some other stuff? Can your channel start testing by using Max Town Hall 10 base every other week? This is confusing. Deploy each of the named troops from the same corner, preparing outcomes. No. We're going to move on from that question.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, I don't even know what he's talking about. How excited are you to be part of the Springtrap show, and how did you actually get the chance to be on it? That one's coming from Rafi.
Actually, Cleric asked me to come on earlier in the week, and I was honored for him to ask. I've heard about your show for a while. I follow you guys on Twitter, so I know when you guys post your shows. And I had a chance to take a look at a few shows, but I never thought I'd be on it, to be honest with you.
Well, hey, Rig, the thing is, like I told Echo, we really wanted to look into our community. We got a community full of great people. There's movers and shakers in our community, and those are the people that we're looking in right now as possible guests. So I thought of you immediately, and that's why I asked you.
Oh, I appreciate it. I mean, I've been a huge fan of Clash. If anybody knows the Buy Forever show, I've put over 1,000 recording hours into talking about Clash of Clans. I mean, I've been
invested.
there. I'm invested.
Yeah.
And it was strange because my current story was that back in November, I allowed certain things about the community that were not fixable, like modding and cheating and all those scandals. I let them get to me, I'll be honest, and I got tired of reporting on it, and I actually only poisoned myself because there's nothing really wrong with the game. If you take the game for what it is, it's a great game. It's everyone's still playing it, but I allowed the politics of the game to get in the way of my joy, and so I stepped away for several months. But I'm really happy to come back to it with now different eyes on the game and just kind of look at it as more in its pure form rather than what other people dictate to you you're supposed to do with the game. That's for sure.
And that's good because you can definitely get tied up in stuff like the modding when really there's not much that we could do about it at all. So just gotta take the game for what it is and enjoy it the way that you want to enjoy it. So glad to see that you're back.
Yeah, I gotta say at that time, Rig, I mean, I was the same way. Like I would get kind of irritated with the stories of people cheating and stuff. But at the end of the day, I realized that just like Echo said, it's not our job to police this game, and we can't do anything about it. So
No.
I don't worry about it, man. I just let it go.
And there's
Don't
people
worry about it.
that do, and they have to suffer that, negative feelings as well. It just goes down a dark road for you if you try to think that you have control. Nobody has control but the developers.
That's
Right.
true. Maybe a little influence for some of the big guys, but not control for sure. We got one coming from NDL. Why do people complain about witches and how they work? Why are witches a hated troop right now, Goon?
Okay, so the real on that, I think a lot of people look at witches as not a skilled attack. I think that's where the league guys are coming from. But hey, man, you cannot argue the fact and power of witches. Gobo Wee is by far one of the most OP attack strategies there is in the game. Like it or not like it, it's definitely one of the most forgiving attacks. It's a set it and forget it attack, and I think that it's one of the more, I guess, easier attacks to learn. I guess once you just learn your basic funnels and things like that, it's a very forgiving attack, and that's probably why some of the upper league echelon guys kind of frown upon witches. But hey, man, like it or not, it's here to stay, and it's completely OP. So you're gonna see it. I see it in every. I'm telling you right now. Me and you, Echo, we cover a ton of clans. I see it every war. I see it every war. I don't care if I'm covering the top echelon of the game or middle echelon of the game. I see it every war, multiple times.
Yeah, I'm telling you, at Town Hall 11, I would say that the two most popular, strongest attack strategies are some type of Loloon or a Bow Witch attack, and I'd probably say that Bow Witch leads that right there at Town Hall 11.
Absolutely.
If you're looking at maxed against maxed. And Town Hall 9, I mean, I just did a video about this today. It's going to come out in a few days, but I mean, Falcon just came out. It's a new hot strategy. You have Hobo, which is solid. You have Gobo Loon. But I'm telling you, Witch Slap is probably, or some type of a Gobo Wee Wee Witch Slap, it's probably still the most reliable attack strategy at Town Hall 9. It's maybe not being used as much because of all the other options, but I think for someone that maybe is newer to the game or doesn't have as much experience, they'd probably see the most success using some type of a Witch Slap or Gobo Loon over something like a Hog attack where you need to go in with a multi-phase attack. It just is,
right.
Like you said.
It's a great fresh hit option, man. I mean, if you don't 3-star a base with your first hit with a Witch Slap or a Gobo Wee Wee, man, you're gonna expose every trap, and you're gonna 90+% of the base. Even like a non-skilled attacker could probably 90+% of base with Gobo Wee Wee. Ridiculous. It's that powerful. So yeah, I mean, when it comes to Witch Slap or Gobo Wee Wee, man, at Town Hall 9, 10, and 11, well, you call it Bow Witch there or whatever, but it's by far the best fresh hit option you can get.
Yeah, agreed. Another part of this question: if the three of us were on a boat stuck in the middle of the ocean, only 2 life vests, who would get them? My question is, who's the best swimmer?
I mean, okay, so that's with us three. We got to choose who.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I mean, I could swim pretty well. I'd be willing to go without the vest and just make a shot for sure.
What's the scenario?
You're definitely.
We're stuck in the ocean, in the middle of the ocean. No land in sight. No land in sight. 2 life vests, 3 men. Which one of us goes without? Are you a crazy
wait. I got a solution. Right here. I say we put 2 vests on Rig and we just hang on to him. How about that? How about that, dude? Come on, let's go.
We just ride Rig to shore.
Claire just fat shamed me right now in front of everybody.
No. I'm talking about you're the flotation device. Let's go.
Exactly, he is.
We don't need a flotation device. We have Rig.
Yeah. He's gonna be our lifeboat.
Oh man. Hey. It would work. Rig. I'm telling you, we'd be saved.
You know what? I'll just take one for the team. I'll just sink like Jack and Titanic.
That's funny. Sad scene.
oh, there's Red.
And speaking of you taking one for the team and drowning in the abyss, what would be our last meal? Mine would probably have to be some type of a sushi meal. I love sushi. I can go for that 7 days a week. What about you, Reg?
Oh, you mean like the last meal?
The last meal. You are about to have your last day on Earth.
Anything goes?
Anything goes. It would probably have to be
Oh God, I love this question.
Oh well, there you go. You're on it.
Oh. All right, for sure.
Gumbo?
It ain't gonna be my wife's pork chop. That's for damn sure. I think that now everybody is saying sushi, and I do get that sushi is a great meal, and plus since you're dead, you don't have to worry about getting full in an hour, especially if you're on the electric chair. But I would say that I would have to go with something kind of more hearty. You know, a nice steak, some mashed potatoes. I mean, you're gonna go out. You know, don't worry about the carbs. All these keto fanatics out there, calm down. I would have some French fries, and definitely got to have some bacon. Throw some bacon on that bad boy. And you know what? I really like soup, so I would probably have to go with. Have you ever heard of this Spanish meatball soup called a bondigas?
No.
It's basically
No.
it's meatball soup. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like a beef stew, but it's got meatballs in it. It's great. I would have that on the side too, and top it off with the Neapolitan ice cream. I'm good to go. I'll check out after that.
That's funny. So you have put some thought into this. I feel like you've answered that question before, or at least thought about it.
Yeah.
What about you,
Yeah.
brother?
Last meals come up all the time.
Yeah, I bet they do.
Hey, man, I want a steak from Ruth Chris. That's all I'm saying. Give me a filet mignon from Ruth Chris and some sides, and it's GG for me, man.
That's all you
That's
need.
it. That's all I need, man. Last meal. Worthy.
Steak is a good option, I have to say. You can't go
Yep.
wrong with a good steak.
What steak though? Prime rib, New York
Filet
cut?
mignon.
Filet
Filet
mignon.
mignon.
Yeah, filet mignon's pretty darn good. I like a good flank steak too, though.
Right?
All right, we're going to try this question. It's extremely long, and I haven't previewed it, so I don't know what we're going to get out of it, but it's from Kimchi of Love. Rig, so many content creators trash Clash of Clans, yet don't you think that this is the only game that allowed content creators to either create, sustain, grow for such a long time? So basically what they're saying is for people putting down Clash of Clans, the game has done well and been well to the creators as well as the community. You agree? Why do you think that it gets so much hate?
No, he's absolutely right, and I think it's disrespectful. I mean, if you are a fledgling or starting out YouTuber, and let's just say this was 5 years ago, and you picked up Clash of Clans like Chief Pat did, nobody was thinking about Clash of Clans when Chief Pat decided to do videos. But look at where it got him, and you know, you don't see Chief Pat going run around telling everyone, you know, Supercell is trash, the game is trash.
Nah.
So definitely, I do think though that, and I'm not sure if it's maybe where content creators feel the need to be super honest, or maybe transparency is, you know, a modern word, and that they feel that they have to tell everyone how they feel about something. It's actually not a good idea. And if you want to be in YouTube and you want to be a content creator, you're really going to not want to bite the hand that feeds you, because you never know if it's going to come around in the future. Look at what happened with Space Ape Games. Supercell bought Space Ape Games. Now, here's the funny link about those two games or companies. There was a kid. He's not a kid anymore, but his name was Jorge Yao. He was the first person to get to 4,000 cups in Clash of Clans, made a name for himself, got into the gaming community, became a creative manager over at Space Ape Games, lives in London, and never trashed Supercell, and now they're his boss. So you never know. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
So you want.
What was it? Hey, well, I was telling Echo literally like a couple of days ago, like, I had a situation where I just, you know, I treat everybody the way I want to be treated, and that's basically what this is. And if you treat everybody the way you want to be treated, I think it'll come back to you, you know, back to kind of biblical, you reap what you sow kind of thing, like that type of thing. But I treated this dude cool, just like it was a random guy, and dude, he paid it back, and introduced me to some really cool content creators. And like I said, it was all just because I treated him the way that I wanted to be treated. So it come back and paid me back. You know what I mean?
And I actually have a sad story, Echo, because I know that you're not too familiar with me, but I actually have a very regrettable story that I did. Supercell actually, or at the Clash of Clans Twitter, I should say, followed me when I first got into podcasting. And at the time, they had over 1 million followers, and they only followed up back about 100 people. I was 123 on their list of followers, and I opened up my big mouth about the future Town Hall 11 that was coming out. I wasn't happy with some things. We all wanted, if you remember at the time, we all wanted arranged wars. You remember those hashtags?
Yep.
Give us our arranged wars.
Yep.
And I was one of them, and I was cheering. I had my fist in the air, and they unfollowed me. So be careful what you say.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I guess they don't like people pooping on their parade, I guess. But
Lesson learned.
Yeah, well, there you go. We have a question talking about drama. It says, despite your distaste for covering drama, at times don't you think drama sells? Why not embrace it and be one of those things that comes to TV shows like Howard Stern? So they're saying, why don't you become the Howard Stern of podcasts, since you do cover some, some topics that could be considered drama, I guess.
Well, the person that asked that question, I don't know who it was, but they definitely are a listener of mine. I had definitely was a fan of Howard Stern. In fact, when I got into podcasting, I really didn't want to be a podcaster. I really wanted to be a radio show. That's really why I got behind the mic, was to have more of callers and have a crew of people that were there on the show every week, and to have your wacky callers. Stern called them whack packers, and everything like that pretty much followed in line with me, and I embraced it. It was a lot of fun. However, regrettably, it's kind of, you kind of feed off of yourself too, and your own listeners, because what ends up happening is you can only swipe jabs at so many groups of people until you lose all the groups, and then people are no longer interested in what you got to say. So it was one of the major reasons for my reboot too, is that I wanted to self-reflect, and I didn't really want to be a drama podcaster, and that's what I became, and I did it very well. I mean, it was fun. Hey, War Whales got caught in season 2. What's the best? That's the best show of the week. Yeah. When something crazy would happen, that was fun. That was like, all right, guys, let's get in on the show on Monday, and let's laugh at it. But little by little, though, there was less people to laugh with, and I was no longer laughing myself, and so I decided, you know what, I want to do what I really want to do, and that's just talk about mobile games. So that was the reason for the reboot.
So I think that was smart, dude. I think that was smart for real, because mobile games are like making a huge like surge right now, dude. Like, I got a PS4 over here to my right. It's basically a paperweight now. I love mobile games more than I love my PS4 right now.
Yeah.
Well, the phones and the tablets that we play on are capable of running things that some people's computers can't run, and on top of that, the ease of playing these things on the go is just, I don't know. Mobile games are the future, in my opinion. I mean, I don't think they're going to completely shut down console gaming or PC gaming. I mean, that would be silly to say, but I think that the extent of mobile games and where they can go is just going to keep climbing, which is going to be awesome.
Yeah, that's my weekly debate every week now.
Yeah,
is the future of mobile games. Yeah, it changes. I mean, remember, Clash is 5 years old now. It's a strategy based game, and then we saw when everyone was running to MOBAs like Vainglory, and now there's that new one, Arena of Valor, and now look at battle royale games are now on the scene.
Yep.
And you just never know what's going to be popular next.
It's crazy to think that on your phone you could play against 100 people in real time, and it works.
Yeah.
And it actually functions well. It really is crazy to see how that all works. I don't know. It's impressive to me. And I mean, just a few years ago, I used to run some websites. I ran a site called Steam First that was all focused on Steam gaming. And back then, if people would ask me about mobile gaming, I wasn't into it at all. Like, I didn't think you could actually have a good or a positive gaming experience on a mobile device. But, shortly after I moved on from that, ran into Clash of Clans, and now, obviously, there's a lot more than that. What are some other games that you like besides Clash that are mobile? What else do you have downloaded on your phone?
Let's go right here.
All right, is that Cleric up first or
Whoever?
No, you.
I know what
me.
Goon's got in his phone.
Okay, you stole his phone before, I see.
Ah.
Okay, well, I've been all over the place as far as checking out on different things. I do, I play Clash of Clans. There is a BYEFOREVER family clan. I'm not sure if you heard of it before. It's about 5 or 6 clans, and it's got great leadership, and they run in all the leagues. I play in Spartan lore, so shout out to the BYEFOREVER family, and shout out to the leaders there. The current leader, Tyrant Joey's doing a great job right now with the BYEFOREVER family. And also we created another BYE family, kind of a play on the name of Buy Forever, BYE. So we made Brace Yourselves, which is a mostly all elves clan in Lineage 2 Revolutions when that launched back in November. And we have about 2 clans that are there that are playing hard in the PvP in the top 5 of Gearin 1. So that's been a lot of fun for those guys too. So I tried that out. It's very pay to win. There's some problems with the game, but the PvP and if you're actually killing people that you know, it's a lot of fun. Clan loves it. But as far as what I've been checking out lately, there was one that I gotta say, I think this is it. This is Old Man proof. You heard it here from Old Man Rig. But Last Day on Earth, I played it over 5 hours today, which is saying something.
Last Day on Earth?
Last Day on Earth is a survival strategy game that has PvP elements. It has clans, and if you don't know what it is, in the one sentence, the one sentence word on what it is you gotta figure out how to make a house, eat, drink water, and survive zombies. If you like prepping, if you're a prepper, this is the perfect game for you. As you advance in levels, you can build cars, you can meet up with other people, you can build bunkers, and then every 12 or 18 hours, a zombie horde is going to run through your village. So you have to prepare. You got to prepare for the zombie apocalypse.
Now, I've seen that game before because I always hop onto the App Store and try and find some new games that maybe I want to try out or put in the channel. I saw that one and I never downloaded it because I just thought it was time intensive. But do you actually
it has elements where you can go offline, like Clash. You know how you cook troops and turn it off? You can do the same thing. You can cook food or whatever, farm, and then come back to the game. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's okay. I think I cut you off, actually. When the zombies come through, do you have to actually fight them, or does your village kind of work what you built?
You have to. It's kind of a test to how strong did you build your base.
Okay.
And there's certain wall levels that they're going to crush, and then there's other higher levels that your base will survive. So the point is to be smart and look out for that, and also look out for other players. Other players can create crowbars in the game, and they can actually break your front door and rob you. So there's that too.
Gotcha.
In fact, I was chopping a tree earlier, and some guy hit me over the head. I was very annoyed by that, but
that's funny.
It's part of the game. I'll let it go.
I'll have to.
I thought it was Fonzie for a second.
It's now on my phone.
Oh, okay. Check it out. Let me know what you think.
I was about to say, look, I mean, I got 3 games right now. I mean, which one should I delete to download this one, Echo? Which one? You made the call.
Well, you already told me you were about to delete Clash of Clans and you were done playing, man. Whatever.
No,
I know which one you're going to delete. You're going to delete Clash Royale. That's what you're going to delete.
Well, but I love Royale, man. Nah, anyway, we'll move on.
Okay. All right. We got a question coming from, I can't say the name, but from the HWCWL. Riggs, do you have any plans on covering leagues rather than the CWL? Because there are a lot of leagues out there.
I haven't been asked officially for anything like that. Before I left the Clash version of BYEFOREVER show, me and a guy named Adam, aka Time to Clash, we were doing the pick'ems, and I loved the pick'ems. The pick'ems were great. We kept up on the score, and I always felt that if we could have pushed that type of show where we were actually watching player replays, we could have had like a very football vibe to leagues, and it just didn't get there. It's a lot of, you got to have people recording everything. Yeah. That's kind of tough right now. I wish the game would allow us to keep replays, longer, but you got to have YouTubers for that, or people that can screen record. Yeah. So, but I really did enjoy it before, but I'd have to see. You're saying there's a lot more leagues. You mean more than the popular CWL and NDL?
Yeah, that's what he's
leagues?
saying. He's actually from, or maybe even the founder, I'm not sure, of the HWCWL, which is the heavyweight CWL.
Oh.
So I think he was kind of
Yeah.
trying to little plug for his league as well. But yeah, I mean, there's a ton of leagues. So
Okay, I'll give some advice, even if it's not me.
yep.
What you want to do, and this just goes as common sense, but maybe it's not for some, is if you want to cover something, then cover it every week. Don't stop. Don't take a day off. You know, even if you're sick, record everything and then create a summary video of what happened. And trust me, people will watch your stuff. And I recommend that because there's so many leagues. Not everybody can be everywhere.
Yeah.
So hopefully people can do that.
Consistency is key, man. It's definitely true. It's one of the biggest tips I give to people that are trying to start out on YouTube. Consistency.
And do what you love. Do what you love.
Yeah.
That's what you do it for, is to love. Don't do it for anything else.
Well, I know that you guys do this YouTube and podcasting for the millions of dollars that you bring in.
Oh, yeah.
You guys are
Absolutely,
rich.
man. Absolutely.
Hale's asking you, Rigoletto, what made you get into podcasting? You may have mentioned this a little bit in the beginning, but do you want to go any deeper into why you did why a podcast? Why not a YouTube thing? Because it seems to me a lot easier to put a YouTube video out than it does to do a podcast.
Actually, I was dumb. I should have went YouTube. I don't know why I chose podcasting. Maybe it was my face. Maybe there was other factors. Maybe it was the technology. I'm not as dapper as Cleric over here, stealing all the glory from this stream here. But you know, I made a choice with podcasting because honestly, it's really easy. It really is something that anybody can do, and you have to practice. You gotta work on your ums and all that stuff. But I started off with a laptop and earbud mics, and ultimately why I started is because there was something that I had to get off my chest, and it just so happened to be in Clash, and that's pretty much how it started, and I haven't missed a Monday in four years.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
Nice.
I had something to say and I forgot what it was, and it was a good one too. I guess we'll move on. Oh, I used to do a podcast as well on one of the websites that I worked on. And you're right. It is, I could see why you would want to start out with a podcast rather than YouTube. It's just you're kind of hidden a little bit more. You're less vulnerable. I mean, even when I went on YouTube from having no face cam to having a face cam, it's a huge jump from having to to go from that spot to the next spot, just because of, I guess, how out there you are. But a lot of people have shown a lot of love to your podcast, and as I read through all these comments that came through, there's a lot of people that are clearly supporters and regulars of yours. So you've done something right over there, man.
Oh yeah, I got a really great community of people that come in, and I'm very happy for. I'm sure you guys are too, so I'm not saying anything probably cliche, but I really do appreciate anybody that wants to spend time in your server or in your channel or whatever it is. I'm super grateful for that. I've had a lot of people that have stuck in there for years, and they're always like, "Oh, remember you said that thing 3 years ago?" And I'm like, "Man, I forgot that.
Yeah.
You brought that up. It's crazy."
I tell you what, dude, your podcast, Rig, has stood the test of time. I've been a guest on several podcasts, and I think yours is probably one of maybe two that is still going on. So you've stood the test of time, man. You got it going on. You got a great following, great supporters, excellent community.
Yeah, that also says something for the person that's creating, like for you, Rigoletto, and anyone that's on YouTube or doing podcasts. It's a grind to do this, and it's an ongoing grind, and it doesn't really go away. Yep. It never gets easy. Once you get to a milestone, you suddenly have another milestone you want to get to. So not only is it the community around you supporting you, which I know it definitely helps because a positive community supports me and helps me as well. But it says something for your drive and your motivation and your work ethic. So you can't take away from that either. It's true.
Can I tell you guys something really quick, because it's gonna be funny here?
Yes.
So right now I'm in a building. I'm at my office. I'm in a building. Because it's California, we have these lights that turn off after a certain time. So I got to go run down the hallway, and I got to hit a button So you're gonna see the lights turn off on me. Don't worry, it's not a home invasion or something.
That's funny.
But I'm gonna have to run and hit the button again, and so I think my time will be in a few minutes.
Okay,
So if you
that's
see
fine.
that happens, I'm gonna run away, hit the button, and I'll be back. So I just wanted to warn you
Right.
guys in case are concerned.
We wonder if we scared you away. No worries.
Okay.
No worries at all.
Just want to
No
put
worries.
that out there.
We'll get okay. So I'm going to save this question that I had. It was a personal question. Well, not personal, but it was a question from me. I'll save that in case you have to run. What inspired you to now? We got that. The Buy Forever family. Goon, do you have any questions from your side of the of Discord or anything like that? Because I'm getting towards the end of my stuff over here.
Actually, I sent them all to you.
I have everything.
Echo. So
Okay.
yeah, you got it all, man. You got it all.
All right, so I guess besides Cleric Dragoon, who was your most interesting, exciting guest that you've had on the show?
Oh man, I mean, they're all interesting in some sort of way.
Yeah, I understand that.
My favorite ones are when I do what are called player profiles. Player profiles basically get somebody from the Clash community to talk about their life. And like some of the most recent ones was Fonzie. You can catch the show on the website, but Fonzie was a hardened criminal, a thug from the streets of LA, and couldn't figure out how to eat or do anything except mug people. And so Fonzie went and he mugged this guy. He looked at some guy and he said, "This guy looks like he's got money." And he went through his whole story, said how I will never rob from a woman or a child, which I appreciated. But he robbed somebody and was caught and did 10 years. 10 years in the system. And told the whole story of how he found love and he's in a great relationship and how things work for him. And this guy's part of Immoral Thieves. And you ever been like, man, I would have never known that this crazy story existed in this clan that I've known about for so long. And stuff like that happens all the time. I've had catfish stories. That was probably the most popular one. There was a guy in Reddit Troopers pretending to be a woman, and he took somebody for about $1,000.
Wow.
And I mean, just there's so many stories. They're all over the place. But that's definitely like what I love to do is I love to just get people on the mic, get them talking. And as soon as you get them talking, you'd be so surprised at what comes out of their mouths. Everybody's got a story. Everybody.
Well, it shows that there is a story behind every person in the game. And sometimes, talking about that catfishing thing, you build relationships with people, clanmates or just people from the community. You get to know them over time and you really begin to trust them. And that's, that's obviously how catfishing can become dangerous. You start divulging important information that can, mess you up if you get screwed over. So
you have people catfishing in your chat right now. I see, according to Goat.
I'm a woman who shares nudes.
Oh God!
$1,000.
Just wanted to report that. Sounds like a violation.
Thank you.
Apparently, there's some more questions in the BFE server, so I'm heading there right now.
Okay, go
Echo.
on over because I'm out of questions. So if you guys have any questions, head on over to the chat right now. Drop them in, and we'll get them as they come. I guess I'll ask you my question because I now came over and I cover about 10 clans and a bunch of event clans as well. And Buy Forever is one of the clans that I just started covering maybe a couple of months ago. I actually started over there because Elite Academy went over to their family, and I was covering them over here in our clan family. And to be honest, I had some great relationships, like we're just talking about, with some of the members of that clan. So I really, even though they left our clan family, I didn't want to stop covering them, so I still do. And they introduced me to the whole, to Buy Forever, nice invite clan, which is something I was looking for. So I didn't even, I guess I didn't even put two and two together that you were part of
there.
And then I'm like looking into this episode this week and I'm realizing, well, that's pretty stupid that I didn't even notice any of this stuff. But have you been with Buy Forever since day one? Is that where you hung your hat and
I created Buy Forever. Yeah.
You did?
Yep.
Wow.
I created Buy Forever in January, February of 2015. It was supposed to just be a podcast clan. People that enjoyed the show were going to come, and I was trying to make sure that I had at least 15 people to start a war, and that's what it originally started with. And then about 3 or 4 months in, the show was really popular. We had great numbers on the show, and another clan that included 2 guys, Big Lou and Joey, were part of the BYEFOREVER leadership. They contacted me and said, "Hey, we have this clan. We want to partner up with you and add it." And so then the second clan joined, and then we got bigger, and then a third clan joined, then a fourth, and before you know it, there's spreadsheets and multi-channel Discord links. It just grew and it grew and it grew, and we've had good people come and go. They've retired, they've come back. I still stay in the chats. They've given me an honorary leadership role. So I'm still part of the family, and like I said, I'm in Spartan lore right now. So it's just a great place. It's never. In fact, one thing I love to brag about. I'll probably always brag about this, but BYEFOREVER was the only invite clan that never got in trouble with any scandals, because they really do care about fair play. They really do care about who they bring in, not just trying to get somebody with a high hit rate, but really, see what their reputation is, see if they're good people, if they're good for the clan, if they're good for the environment. And because of that, people are attracted to it. And so it is what it is. It's huge.
And that's difficult because honestly, when you're covering invite, you're talking about, supposedly, and there are others that are probably left out, but some of the best Clash players in the game, at least in the CWL, being invite. And it could be very tempting to take on some people that have those high hit rates without doing as much research as you should possibly do. So, it's always something as a content creator, you don't want to get caught up in any of that mess. So it's nice to hear that time is taken to make sure that things are as clean as they could possibly be, because, it's difficult. It's difficult when you're trying to be competitive. So any more questions coming out of the chat right now?
We got some questions on Twitter. I'm trying to find them right now. So
push-ups or sit-ups? Johnny Carreria wants to know. For me, it's push-ups, chest all day.
I do curls right here.
Mini curls.
I feel so pumped right now.
If the three of us were stranded on an island together, what 3 things would you wish to have? Who would survive? I tell you, I would survive. But I wouldn't say they wouldn't survive also. I know I would survive. What would I bring with me? You need a knife, right, Goon? You're one of those.
Yeah, absolutely. A knife.
A knife, a woman, and what else? You need a woman. You go crazy.
Oh, man. You need a fire starter, right? I mean, that's what they do on Naked and Afraid. I mean, come on. Let's go.
A fire starter? Can't you start a fire without a fire starter, though?
Well, you can, but I don't know, man. I need some matches.
Okay.
I'm not trained.
Rigoletto, what would you?
I'd go with a Rambo survivor knife, serrated on one side so you can saw. Also cut fillets, cut branches, and it used to have a compass on the tip of it. I don't know if they still do, but the one that I bought when I was 10 did. Also some a tarp. Hey, the lights went out.
There you go. Oh, and they're back though.
Well, that's the warning light.
Oh.
And the let's see. Oh, and some heavy line, some sort of like steel gauge line or something like that. You can make like fishing line or something out of it. Maybe
no
I'm
fire
wrong.
starter for you.
No, I'll just use my glasses. That works.
True.
Ake or Oche asks us, do you prefer to fold laundry or do dishes?
Thanks for the question, Ake. Actually, I don't mind doing the dishes.
Me neither.
I think the dishes would be easier because I have a dishwasher, but you don't have anything to fold laundry automatically. So I'll go with dishes. Thank you, Ake.
I guess you know Ake?
His name is Oche. I'm messing with him.
Oh, sorry.
Oche. Yeah. All right, so I got a question right here, and this is from the chat. It's from Oche, Do your family members know and support your podcast and YouTube?
For me?
Yeah,
No, they don't.
they do not.
No, they do not. Thank you for bringing up such a horrible question. Bad memories.
Do you get flack for
you're-
spending time doing it?
You're making the sad music come out in me.
There's my copyright claim right there.
Oh no, this is strike.
I'm
Nah,
kidding,
you
I'm
got
kidding.
Oh yeah,
kidding.
I'll cut it off.
I'm
Under 6
completely just
seconds.
joking. I'm kidding.
No, actually,
Thank you, Pickles.
that's a great question because not a lot of people ask that. But for come on, think about it. Like for any grown man to want to spend time on what women like call video games, they don't get it.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, what are you doing with your time? Like, come inside, watch CSI with me. You're like, no, I want to do this. So in the beginning, she was very opposed. She was like, loser. What are you doing? And then it was something that I just realized that it wasn't going away. And then she would listen to some and say, I heard you talk about this. I never knew you felt this way. I never knew this or that. And it kind of became something that was kind of enjoyable for both of us. And so that's kind of changed over the years. But in the beginning, though, it's kind of like, what are you doing? I'm not sure if you guys got that too. Hey, what are you doing with this thing? Question.
Yeah.
But I did for sure.
I think it's a natural thing to happen. I mean, like you said, it's video games, and we're grown men, and it takes for, at least for my wife, it took for her to realize that I was doing something more than just playing video games to appreciate and support what I was trying to do. So, but in the end,
Yeah.
like you said, they come around.
My wife pretty much hates anything that takes time away from her, but I kind of work a system out with her that one night I spend with her, and I try not to get involved with anything on her nights. However, that does probably fall through most of the time, but I'd really try not to. And then the next night is mine, and I do with it as I please. And of course, the lines blur there. I mean, she always gets involved, but anyway, I try to have a night for her, a night for video games, content creation, clan, community, the whole nine on that. It's crazy because anybody that's around me pretty much knows Flashback, and anybody that knows me knows how I work and knows my schedule. And the nights that I am available, and thank you, Flashback, I got that question. The nights that I am available for content creation and community and everything, it's nuts. I mean, I try to get it all done in that one night, and then the next night it's my wife. It's like, all right, guys, I'm off the radar tonight. Don't mess with me tonight. So yeah, it's a constant up and down for me like this. I don't have a.
And most people that know me too is after a certain time of the day, I'm offline. You won't find me, and everyone's got to do that. You gotta turn off Cleric, Dragoon, or Echo, unless your wife calls you Echo. Maybe, I don't know, but I'm not known as Rig in the house. So you turn that off, and then you go back to being Dad or whatever it is that you are.
Yeah.
I got two questions. Right here. One of them's in the chat, and I got to scroll back to it.
Stay undivorced, Flashy says.
Can you guys hang without me for like 2 minutes? So I can
go ahead.
Yeah, man, go for it. We'll save those questions, Goon. Let's talk about something else while we're waiting for him to come back.
All right, cool. I just wanted that question. The chat's moving, so I was trying to keep it. It's from Pickles, and then I got Flashy. It sent me one. Thank you so much, guys. I missed it somehow. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, the co-host one from Pickles.
Yes, you got that one.
Of course,
okay, cool.
I do. I'm gonna
Cool.
send you them on Discord. There you go. They're over there onto you on Discord. Technology's
Look at there, buddy. Look at there,
got your
buddy.
back, homie.
You do, man.
Back.
I appreciate you, bro. Appreciate
No
you.
problem. So, did you do this dragon event, Goon? You don't even know what I'm talking about, do you?
Well, no, I do, because I actually sent a link to Clash of Clans in the post. Yes, I did. I sent the Perfect Storm link. Okay. It was one of the first videos I did on that attack strategy. But no, I did not. I don't need to farm my Town Hall 9s, and so I didn't do it. No, and to be honest with you, I've got a Town Hall 11, but I have almost given up trying to farm it right now. I have been too busy. I've been too busy to farm
easy,
it.
though, Goon. It's so easy, man. I'm more than halfway done farming up my base already.
No, man. I'm going to give you the password to mine, and you can farm mine on. You fix that rush, Echo. Fix that rush. Let's go.
I think that's against the terms of service. I'm not willing to.
Oh, okay. All right, man. All right, so your new name is Big Hundy. We'll just talk about that later. It'll be all right.
Okay. I'm just copying these questions as they come through.
Nice.
I feel like Oche, I think that's the proper way of saying it, is starting to stir up to trouble right now. All right, so you want to get into your questions now that we have Rigoletto back with us after turning on the lights.
I hope I did. I hit the button.
There you go.
You had some stuff, right, Goon? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Here we go. Okay, so
You're funny, dude.
Clash with DevWitch. Which attack strategy is our favorite? All of us. So attack strategy, your favorite, Rig.
Well, are we talking Clash?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in love with the Goho, so it's never done me wrong.
Old school.
Old school.
Respect.
Goho.
That's respect, dude. That's the first strategy I ever learned as far as complex strategy. Absolutely. I talk about that on my channel. But for me, like, guys, you know me, Gumbo Laloon. That's it. That's my favorite. That's my go-to. Some people say it's dead. I assure you it's not.
Oh, it's not dead.
No, it's not dead. Oh, I made a video for a viewer. He commented and said that it was an old strategy and it was dead. Well, Logan, I got a video coming for you, man. It's coming on the 9th, brother. It's gonna be there, man. Trust me.
Shots fired right there on Logan.
That's it, baby. Let's go.
I just put one out about Gumbo Laloon the other day. It is a great strategy.
We got to get Logan on your channel because apparently, he's seen mine. He said he just said it was dead, man. And hey, man, I need to send him around. Logan needs to get around a little bit.
Yeah, send him my way. We'll chat.
I'm gonna try. Yeah, hopefully he watches that video. I'm gonna make his day.
You know why though? Gumbo Laloon is people don't like it is because it's you have to be patient. Multi-phase attack. You have to really let your kill squad go in there and do what it needs to do. You got to get a few ADs, the clan castle, and that queen. If you don't, it's probably gonna fail. So most of the time, people aren't gonna love it because it's not a simple attack strategy. It takes some patience, takes some practice. But for me,
and you know what?
Yes.
You could 2-star with this thing, man. A 9v10. You could 2-star with Gumbo Laloon.
Yes, you can.
I mean, I did it like in our last CWL war. Scotty. For Divine Justice asked me, he's like, Goon, I need you to hit 2 Town Hall 10s. I need 2 stars on them, dude. So I did a Gumbo Laloon on one of them. It was a stoned. Now it was definitely a different. It wasn't a shattered. It was a stoned entry, but I 2-starred that one, then turned around and 2-starred one with Queen Walk Laloon, Town Hall 9v10, and got it done. But anyway, Gumbo Laloon is very versatile in my opinion.
Agreed. And actually, speaking of, on the screen right now is a Gumbo Laloon going on from Titan out of 3 strikes. And I didn't mention this earlier, but all the attacks that we're seeing today are out of 3 strikes from the Circle of Clans. My favorite attack strategy is probably most complex, most difficult to perform attack strategies. One that is actually kind of led my channel and it's kind of helped my channel a lot. Yeah, and BYEFOREVER, probably the most difficult, most intricate. You need to be a really solid Clash of Clans player. Lots of patience, lots of skill to perform it. And that's my favorite attack strategy. I really do like it. Even if it wasn't my favorite, I kind of have to take my hat off to it because of how well it's done on my channel and all that. So,
all right, so I got a question for Rig right here. Who was your favorite and least favorite co-host for the show?
Man, that's really saying something to how many I've had.
I guess so.
Well, it was funny because they all, figuratively speaking, they all kept dying on me. But my favorite was, of course, the admin herself, Blondie, who did the show for about a whole year with me. And
North Watchers, Blondie.
Yeah,
I know her.
absolutely the best. She was the
Yep.
perfect balance to my nonsense on the shows, and it was great to have an insider, an admin, actually explain what was going on with the leagues at the time, and a lot of stuff was not as solid as it is now. Rules were still in their early stages, so she was a lot of fun to talk to about Clash. And my least favorite, oh man, uh,
Don't get yourself in hot water.
yeah, you know what? Well, I'm not gonna say it was my least favorite, but somebody brought up Buck earlier. The only thing is, I regret that our friendship kind of ended the way it did. That's probably all I'll say. Is there was
Sounds
a
good.
was a lot of regrets back then, and I'm older now, and I hope there will be a time in the future when we can both say hello to each other again. So,
Time heals all wounds, man. Time
Yeah.
heals all wounds.
yeah,
All right,
I
so
miss
this
I miss a
one-
lot of people. Yeah.
Oche, is this for everybody or is this just for Rig? Oche says, have you ever had feelings for a female listener / follower online?
I love all my followers. Male or female, it doesn't matter. You're all very important
Right
to
on,
me.
right on. That's true. That's very true. That's true.
speak to Cleric Dragoon daily on the phone, so he's probably my biggest love relationship.
Bromance.
Bromance,
Let's
yep.
go.
Let's
Let's go, Echo. That's what I'm talking. That's what started this show, guys. Just me and Echo talking on the phone.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
that's the spring trap right there, guys. Right there.
We should
Echo's
do.
a good-looking guy. Now that I can see him on camera here, I can
Thanks.
see
man.
all the
Hey,
trouble
hey.
he gets into.
He had me at hello, man. He had me at hello. It's
That's
over.
funny. That's funny.
No, I mean, as far as Oche, you have to be specific, man, with this question. Like, are you saying did we, as in all of us, Rigoletto, me, Echo, have we ever had feelings that we wanted to, I don't know, exchange news or something? I don't know. I mean, what is the question? If that's the question, then no. I mean, I've never really had that happen. But feelings respect somebody, or feelings of respect, feeling for love as a friend. I mean, what type of love are you talking about?
I'll tell you this: you do connect with people and find people of the opposite sex that have very similar interests to you. Being like a YouTuber
Yes.
for Clash of Clans, I have a passion for this stuff, and I meet people that have the same passion. So there's people that you obviously have connections with because you have similar interests. And my wife is not a Clash of Clans player; she's not a game player, so we don't have that connection. But we have other connections. So, I mean, I'm not saying I fall in
Right.
love with people online, but you definitely build relationships and build bonds with people from being in these communities. It's just a fact. I'm not scared to say it.
One thing about me, you, and Rigoletto is we're all part of very large or kind of large communities. Rigoletto has the BYEFOREVER family. Me and you have the Circle of Clans and the Family Circle. So
I have both.
we are part of. Yeah, that's true. I forgot about that. So I mean, we are all part of big communities, and the communities are full of like-minded people. So I gotta say, we're surrounded by awesome people, and so. But as far as gender, it doesn't really play a part, guys. I mean, for me, I'm not really looking for that. I deal with each person as I would want to be treated. I deal with each person the way I want to be treated. That's all I can tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter about gender.
Anything you want to add in there, Rigoletto, or should we move on?
I'm good.
All right, Goon, what else you got, brother?
All right. What kind of truck or car do you guys drive? And now this for you, Echo. We're gonna let you start first because you've had a recent switch, right?
I did. So my whole history with cars is when I was younger, I would get new cars all the time. After high school, I went right to work. I didn't go to college right away. I took a few years off. So I always had a lot of money, at least for a person my age. I did all right. And as I'm trying to find an attack right here. So every year and a half, 2 years, I get bored of whatever it was I was driving, and I get myself a new car. So 7 years ago, I bought my first Jeep Wrangler, and I fell in love with the car, or the Jeep. I had it for 7 years. I put 125,000 miles on it, which I never broke 50,000 miles on a car, but I put so many miles on it, and just a couple of weeks ago started having issues with the Jeep, and I had to decide, do I want to start putting money into a vehicle? Remember, I do drive 100 miles a day to my job, back and forth. So I had to decide, do I want to get something new that's going to be reliable, or do I want to start trying to fix this Jeep? And I'm not a gearhead. I don't know what I'm looking at inside of the car, so I decided I'd go get a new car. And I was planning on buying another Jeep. I never thought I'd ever get something besides a Jeep, so I went looking. I went to the Jeep dealerships, and in looking, I found a whole bunch of other things that were really cool options, and I opened my eyes to other stuff. And then I ran into this BMW that was sitting at one of the dealerships. And I've never thought I'd own a BMW because, rich people own BMWs. But the BMW was the same price as all these other cars. I was looking at Grand Cherokees. I was looking at Dodge Ram trucks. I was looking at Jeep Wranglers. And in the same exact price range, I actually think I got a cheaper deal. I got a BMW X3. I got it 3 days ago. So, it's pretty darn sweet too, I have to say. It's really darn nice in there.
You're smiling from ear to ear.
It's a nice car. I never thought I'd drive one before. Like I always, stuck up people drive those cars. I went from a Jeep with crank windows to an X3, so it's pretty crazy. I'm happy. I'm not a stuck up guy, I promise. I just went with the best deal.
Rig?
What is it? What do I drive, or what do I want to drive?
What do you drive currently?
Well, there's two. I have my daily driver. It is a natural gas Honda Civic, and I bought it because those vehicles you can be single passenger on the carpool lane to San Francisco. And at the time, I was commuting to San Francisco on the daily, and anybody that commutes anywhere in a big city knows. You shave 30, 40 minutes off your commute, you're happy, man.
Oh yeah.
So that's my weekly car that I drive, and then I have an Acura MDX SUV, which is the car I drive on the weekends. And I like it. Go. It's not fancy. It's nice.
And good, right?
I don't know what to say about it.
Well, I got two trucks. Hey, I live in the country, guys. So I got a four-wheel drive Nissan, I think it's an '08 Nissan Crew Cab. I can't remember. It's the off-road package, Nismo or something like that. Anyway, that's my daily. That's what I drive all the time. And then for a backup truck, I got a Toyota Tacoma, two-wheel drive. So that's pretty much it. The Tacoma I actually purchased from a friend of mine. He was getting him a brand new Titan or something, the big full size, and he offered me that truck. And I've got 4 daughters, and I bought it just for them. Like they're going to eventually take that truck whenever they need it. So but right now it's my backup truck, and I rarely drive it. The Toyota, it sits in my my yard most of the time.
Is it a Tacoma?
Yeah, 2-door extended cab. But
that's going to
Nissan,
be probably my next vehicle will be the Tacoma truck, the new one.
I can't complain, dude. I love it. It's a good driving ride. I do drive my Nissan Crew Cab more, but that Tacoma I drive probably 3 times, maybe twice or 3 times a week, just to keep it moving, keep it going. But man, I got no complaints. Excellent driving car, and it had 130,000 miles when I bought it, and dude, it runs like a sewing machine. So both of them do.
That new color that they have on it is I love that color. It's kind of like a sand color. I forgot what it's called, but that creamy color.
Mine's like a metallic silver or whatever, but that's a good color, man. I like that because it don't show dirt that much. But I'm not a big time car washer. So, I don't think dirt gets on BMWs, does it?
No, dude, I got a black BMW. It's black on black. I drove the thing home, and it's covered in dirt. It's going to be a car that if I want to clean, I'm going to need to wash it every day. I don't know what I got myself into. You could keep your Jeep dirty, but you can't keep your BMW dirty. It's just not okay.
Yeah, that's why I got trucks, man. So, you're used to seeing mud on the sides. I'm good to go, dude. I never wash anything. So as far as my trucks. Well, look, I got another question from Oche, of course.
Yeah.
It says, have you ever seen someone playing Clash outside and approach them? I'm going to answer this first. I'm going to tell you no. I've never seen anybody play Clash and approach them. I've seen somebody play Clash, but I haven't approached them. So yeah.
You sure you don't go give them your channel? You know.
Oh, no. Hey, Claire Dragoon Gaming guys.
You
how
may
you
know
doing,
me,
man?
Business
Claire
cards.
Dragoon. You may have seen me on YouTube. What strategy?
No,
what strategy?
That's never happened. What are you using? Oh my god, dude! Come on, that's so last year. No,
You're not
no,
using Gumbo Loon? What do you mean?
No. That's never happened. I have seen somebody playing Clash, but I haven't approached them. No.
How about you, Rigoletto?
All the time. I'm happy to talk about the game. If I see people playing it, I always approach them. I was in IT for a hospital in Marin County, and there was a bunch of people that played Pokemon Go and Clash of Clans, and so every time I was walking around, I'd see people with their phones out, and they have their phones sideways. There's a good chance that they're playing Clash, so I'd walk up and pass by, and if I saw them playing Clash, I would immediately ask them for an interview. That's how I roll.
Really?
I'm just kidding. No, not the interview part.
An interview.
No, but I would just say like, hey, what's a great icebreaker question is just say, what town hall are you? And as soon as they hear that, they're like, oh, I'm a town hall 8, and you start talking. It's great. People love talking about the game.
That is cool. I've never approached anybody that I've seen playing Clash. I mean, as a teacher, I see kids play Clash all the time. Lately, it's more like Fortnite Mobile or PUBG Mobile.
Yeah.
But I do have two really cool stories about people that were watching me. One being one of my coworkers. She messaged me one night and says, "I just heard you in my living room." And it turns out that she heard my voice in her living room, and her son was on the TV watching one of my YouTube videos. That was pretty cool. And one time, a friend of mine was at a bar, and a person that was at the bar supposedly was watching one of my videos on their phone. Supposedly. I'll run with it though, 'cause it sounds pretty cool.
Hey, that drawing though, man. I seen that drawing you got
What drawing?
the other day. You had a drawing, man, that a viewer submitted to you, man. That was pretty awesome.
When was
I gotta
that?
say. I'm not for sure, man. It wasn't that long ago though, man.
You talking about from someone's daughter?
Yes.
Yes, that was
That's
really
pretty
cool. That was
That
really
was
cool.
pretty cool, man. That was pretty cool.
I still do have that here.
Hey, I
in my
gotta say,
here.
I was jelly on that one, man. That was pretty cool. That
She
was
probably
pretty
just
cool.
couldn't draw the beard properly on you. She's still working on it.
you know. What can I say? Just draw Chewbacca. You got me. You got me covered. It's all good.
That's funny.
All right, so
yep.
yeah, no. This one's going to be controversial, guys. I know that you guys are not used to seeing these controversial questions. However, Coro Have says, "What are our thoughts on modding? How do we feel about modding?" I'm going to take this one first. I'm just going to say this. I disagree with modding. It's cheating in a strategy game. And I'm just going to tell you guys, a strategy game should be about the guy who can figure out the puzzle, the guy who thinks about the base and breaks the base, like thinks about his moves. He has one chance, to take this base down, and he has to make it count. And I just disagree with modding in general. I don't agree with it at all. Totally disagree with that. I think, but there again, it's not. I'm not a police of this game, guys. But that's my feelings. I disagree with modding entirely.
I think it's so funny. It's like a motivational speech listening to you talk about modding, man.
Sorry.
That was great.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's funny. How do you feel,
Yeah,
Rigoletto?
yeah.
Oh man, I've built a career on modding. As far as modding goes, I not that I don't care, to make it seem like it's not important, but you can't stop it. And so, for lack of a better reason, I care not to care, because ultimately it's it's for Supercell to care about and do, and we've seen them make changes over the years for it. I don't agree with putting down people who mod. People first. So I've seen people that mod compared to being pedophiles and rapists and all other bad things in life. People that don't pay their taxes and that their whole life is that they are cheating everything in life. And I don't agree with that.
That's a bit extreme.
It is, and a lot of people were like that and try to make very firm stances, and I don't think that's fair to that person or what they do in a game. So people first, and that's it. That's it for me.
Yeah. Something I've been learning lately is I mean, I don't believe in modding. I think it sucks. When we're all trying to play this game and play it to the next level, modding sucks. It's just what it is. But it's easy to judge people and attack people for beliefs that, you know, are different than yours. You know, people that are modding, they're just trying to get a leg up on the game and trying to get some, you know, to just do better at the game in their own way. The way they're not looking at it like, I mean, at least I don't think so. They're not looking at it as if they're trying to break the game or mess with the game. Maybe there's some people that are, but in the end, it's just better not to be too hard on people. Well, I know that's completely not answering the question at all, but I don't know.
You know, there's a lot of effort put in Clan Wars. I know that. It's a whole team that's put an effort in. And just to have another team use a third-party app to get the advantage, it's just not cool, man. That's just me, man. That's me. I think that you should play legit. If you can't play the game legit, it's a strategy game, guys. It's about the smartest. It's not about the guy who got 100 tries on a third-party app. I mean, let's be real. That's the way I feel about it, man. So I just don't think it's cool to cheat, dude. End of story.
There you go.
Yep. All right, so to break that, guys, and that was a controversial question. I knew it was going to be that. So I got one here from Flashback. She says, this is for all three of us. You've been given a talk show on national television. Who is your first guest and why?
Rigoletto, my first guest.
Wow. I'm honored.
He's part of my clan family.
Right.
Man, who's my first?
I'll give you all the dirt on all the co-leaders later. Thank you.
I don't want any dirt.
Nice.
First guest on a national show, huh? Would it be a Clash of Clans show? Are we talking about like?
I think you could change this. I mean, it's kind of subjective. So obviously we're mostly clashers, but also we're mobile gamers. So I mean, this would be like how you want to spin it. There's no wrong way to answer this.
So I'll answer this as if the Spring Trap just suddenly got some crazy exposure and was on, you know, something big like that. And if I could bring any guest on the Spring Trap right now, because we've had some big guests on here, some people that I really would have wanted to have. So someone that we haven't yet had that I want to get would probably be Galadon, just because he's like the godfather of Clash. I mean, there's a couple of them that started out in that time, Chief Pat. But Galadon, I just would love to have on here. I just feel like I'd have a lot to ask him and pick his brain. I think he'd be a pretty sweet guest. Yeah, maybe one day. Maybe one day.
You know what?
You'll say no
for me. For me, I would say for me it would be Clash with Ash. I've actually got to play with Galadon recently in another video game. And Galadon is for real. He's legit. He's a cool guy. Totally, you know, the circumstances that I got to meet him was pretty awesome. And that was what I was alluding to earlier in the stream about treating people how you want to be treated. Just do that. That's the way to live, honestly. But I would say Clash with Ash just because he's one of the main reasons that he's kind of the way I shaped my channel. Ash was the guy that I went to learn attacks at the very beginning for me in Clash of Clans for complex attacks. And then Power Bang obviously was next. We've had Power Bang. I was so thankful for that. But I would like to have Ash as well. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, so this has to be within the Clash universe?
No,
show?
it
doesn't have to be. No.
I just formed it that way for my own answer.
Oh, okay.
So, but if you had a show, who would you want to have on? Well, you do have a show, but
Yeah.
Stevie Weeby. If you guys don't know who Stevie Weeby is, he's a YouTuber who does interviews. He's the brother to Bobby Lee. Bobby Lee, the comedian. And he's got a younger brother. He's got a brother that is nobody knows. But his brother puts out this Stevie Weeby show on YouTube. The guy is hilarious. The guy is funny, and he doesn't even know he's funny. He's hilarious. I love funny people like that, or people that are kind of like, they're so honest. They don't know that what they're saying is funny. They're just being themselves.
mm-hmm.
And I'd probably go with somebody like that rather than like a celebrity. I don't think celebrities open up. So I'd probably go with some YouTuber that I find interesting. That'd probably be it. And there's a lot of them. Shane Dawson's another one. I'd love to talk with Shane Dawson.
That's cool that you mentioned people that were not just huge celebrities. That is cool. There's so many small people out there that have amazing stuff, and that would really be cool guests.
Absolutely. Now I got one more question, Echo, and it says, if you could live, this is by Hoche once again, so
Really?
beware.
That's surprising.
Yeah.
Wow, this guy's all over the place tonight.
Yeah, he's on it, man. He is totally on it, and that's okay, guys. That's okay. The Spring Trap is about your questions, guys. You control the direction of the show.
True.
So right here, Oche says, if you could live in another country, where would you choose based on what you've read about that place or seen online? Thank you so much, Goblins.
Yeah, thank you very much, man. Keeping them coming.
Oh, man, I kind of got distracted from that question. What was it again?
If you could live anywhere in any country,
Oh.
which country would it be based on what you know about it?
Oh, so it'd have to be based on what you know prior to moving?
Yeah, I mean, it would have to be what you read online. I think that's what he's saying. I mean, because ultimately, what would you know about the country unless you've physically been there? So, yeah, I think he's saying if you read online, if you searched out countries online, which one would you want to move to?
Okay, I'll have to think on that one. You go first, Cleric.
I'll go first. I'll go
okay.
first.
You go.
You could think a little bit. I'm going to talk about a specific place, and it's I went there on my honeymoon actually, and it was just beautiful. And if I had to choose a place, I'd probably choose that place because I already know it, and I thought it was great. And that would be Costa Rica. We went and we stayed up by the volcanoes for a few days. Then we went down by the beaches for a few days, and it was just an amazing place. It was beautiful, and I would not mind hanging my hat there. Someone else is up. What's up, Wicked? How you doing, brother? Thanks for coming.
Wicked is in the stream, bro. Wicked is in the stream. Part of the Wolf Pack, guys.
That's
Wicked
it.
Gaming. For me, dude. I mean, obviously we all want to go to Helsinki, but I don't know if I'd want to live there. But
I hear it's not too bad over there, man.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like an all expense paid trip there one day, but right now, I don't know, man. I've kind of thought about Hawaii, but I know it's an island. But I don't know, man. I've always wanted to go there too. So maybe that would be cool.
I thought you were gonna say like South Carolina.
I go to South Carolina all the time, dude.
I know you do.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say Hawaii. Kea girl's there.
True.
Maybe it's cool. I could DM Kea and say, Kea, like, what's Hawaii all about? And she could probably give me the word. I've never really done a whole lot of looking as far as abroad. There's some friends of mine at work that went to several different countries, and they always tell me these stories. I gotta say, I heard Italy was really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as like moving somewhere, dude, you can't beat those views of Hawaii, man. Those views are pretty breathtaking.
Yeah, Kea sometimes puts up those pictures of like she just put one up yesterday, I think, of the sun had just come out over the mountains, over the water. Some gorgeous stuff that she's got right in her backyard. What's up, Deepak?
Dude, this guy Leo is talking about Alaska. He's so right, man. The Northern Lights are beautiful, man.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much to see. There really is.
I've only been to one place, and I think it was. Let me see. Hold on. It was the Bahamas. That's the only country I've ever been to outside of the United States. It was on my honeymoon, dude. So it was a long time ago. I went to the Bahamas. I had a great time, but that's pretty much it. I do have a visa right now, and we'll travel for the right price.
A visa?
Or whatever. Passport. Whatever you call it.
Oh, you're funny.
You know what I mean, man.
I know what you meant. I'm just calling you out. What about you, Rigoletto?
Well, I got a clanmate from Australia, and she talks about Australia and what it has, and we ask questions all the time. And so I would want to go and check out Australia. I think that'd be cool. I think also too. I mean, that's kind of a huge place. I mean, I don't know if you guys said like continent or country. I don't know if it's both. Is Australia both? But I would want to go there.
Hey, Australia though, dude. All right, so like I had a friend go to Australia and live there for a while, and obviously we know a lot of people in our community online through the circle and the family circle. But man, I'm gonna tell you, Wicked is in Australia. I've heard the spiders and the snakes are like OPAF there, man. I'm a little.
That's what Flashy's saying right now. Everything in Australia can kill you.
Yeah, I'm scared, man. I'm scared, dude. Totally.
Stay in town. Don't go in the bush.
Stay in town. I hear you, man. I hear you. If I went in the bush, man, I'd have to talk. I'd definitely have to talk to Wicked, man. We got to go, dude. You keep me safe, man. If I go to Australia, man.
Hey, you go to Australia, you could possibly get a role in one of his films that he puts out, man. I wouldn't mind being in one of those films.
Who would I be though, man? What would the character I play? Wicked. Who would you cast me as, man? Which character? Which troop?
The Electro Wizard he already used. I was
gonna say
Scraggly Beard.
Scraggly Beard. He said, "I got you, bro. He's gonna protect me, man. He's got me." He'd probably put me as a PUBG character, like popping in. Lumberjack.
That's true. I'm still trying to be the voiceover for the Wizard, man. I'm waiting for Clash of Clans to need a voice for that guy, and I would like to be the Wizard. I think that Wicked actually has an episode of that series coming out, and he has a Wizard. I think it's the Fire Wizard coming out or something soon. I don't know. That'll be cool to see though, if I'm actually right on that. I could be wrong. Any more questions, Goon, or are we summing things up, brother?
I think we're getting close, man. Anybody DMing me right now? If you don't have a question, you're getting a link to the stream. Let's go.
Let's go. Sweden OP. Fire Wizard versus Ice Wizard is going to be Wicked's next matchup. That should be exciting. But I guess we'll start summing things up right now. What I'll do is I'll pass the mic over to you, Goon. Say any last things that you want to say. Then it's going to be over to you, Rigoletto. Goon?
Sure.
Guys, I got to say, for me, I had a great time tonight. I knew, Rig, nice talking with you again, man. Of course, me and you converse back and forth, through DMs and stuff. But, I mean, I knew it was going to be a pleasure to have you on the show, and I'm glad you came tonight. And I hope everybody enjoyed Rigoletto, and you got to know Rigoletto on a different level. That's the whole thing about the Spring Trap guys. You get to know these guests on a different level. It's your time to ask them questions. You might not know Rig, or you might know Rig or what you think of Rig. But tonight, hopefully, you know him on a different level, and you know what he's into now versus what he did in the past. It's all getting to know our guests, guys, and having a good time. So I'm hoping every one of you had a great time. I did. So until next time, guys, I'm looking for number 23, man. That's what I'm looking for, guys. I'm pretty stoked about that. Don't know who the guest is right now, but we're working on it, guys. So with that being said, Rigoletto, off to you.
Well, I just want to thank you, Cleric, and Echo for having me on your show. Appreciate it very much. And also for those that came into the chat because of the Bye Forever show, thank you for coming in and supporting me as well. And if you want to listen to a podcast that comes out every week, it talks about mobile games. We complain and cheer our greatest things about mobile games, including all the changes that go along with it, with game companies and game developers, and as well as our own personalities and what we do in our life, and of course keep it light and fun. But if you want to listen for a few shows, see if it's something for you, you can find it on iTunes over at BYEFOREVER is one word. That's BYEFOREVER show. You find it on iTunes, and also we do bonus shows and an extra show for the Patreon supporters. So if you like what you hear on iTunes, $2 a month will get you 4 more extra shows. So check it out.
Can't beat that. That's good. It's good if you're a fan. And I just want to take a moment and thank you, Rigoletto, for coming down to the show. It was actually nice to meet you and talk to you and get to know the man behind the show and behind the whole clan family BYEFOREVER. Also, guys, if you haven't yet checked out either Rigoletto or Cleric Dragoon, their Twitter handles are under their faces, and the links to either his the BYEFOREVER show is in the description, and of course, Cleric Dragoon's YouTube channel is in the description. So show a little love to both of those guys by checking them out. At least follow them on Twitter so you can see what they have to say. But again, that's been it. Episode 22 of the Spring Trap is in the books. Like Goon says, we don't know who's coming up next, but we can promise that it's going to be someone that we, well, we can't promise that, but hopefully it's someone interesting that we can all enjoy. I don't want to make any promises, so. But that's been it, man. Thank you guys for coming down. I had a great time. I hope you guys did too. And next week, we'll be back with episode 23 of The Trap. Until then, guys, take care and be good.
Or be good at it.
Thanks, guys.
I knew you were going to say that.